Andre,
Ryan.
that little riff right there at the end is now more tied to money than the sound of a cash register to me. Like I hear that, I'm like, oh, that's the sound of just dollars entering my hands.
That's a good statement to start on your birthday. Happy birthday, man.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm gonna need. Hopefully, I keep some birthday luck going here. That would be super helpful to keep the streak going. 20-10 on the big three so far in March. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, and I'm almost.
Look at that. That's so nice.
Just want to keep the winning ways, because this episode and next episode and from here on, all the way through March, things really start happening. And if you have a DNVR Bets Daily pod on a heater entering the hot period in March, look out.
Yeah, it could be wild. We are about to enter like the single greatest sports gambling time that exists, and it'll be the first time we've ever had legal sports gambling for that experience.
Yeah, we are Lewis and Clark, exploring the West essentially for the first time. This is unprecedented times and pretty hyped, Ryan. Pretty hyped.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And let's keep it rolling tonight. We're going all in on hockey once again. We don't really have many other options. So we're going all hockey big threes, a lot of overlap. We like overlap. Overlap picks are even hotter than our normal picks right now. So let's get into it. We'll start with you, Dre, on your big three.
Yeah, some tried and true guys like Alex DeBrincat over 2.5 shots at -167. You're frankly stealing for a guy who's hit 5 in a row. 15 of the last 18 the overs hit. I mean, a blind man could be making money on DeBrincat these days. And then Alexander Barkov, the stud center for the Florida Panthers. Another one, over 2.5 shots at just -177 when he's hit 10 of his last 11. Get out of here. Barkey's been phenomenal. And we are staying away from some of the more tried and true guys like Anders Lee, who slowed down. And we're going back to Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby got a little rest last week for COVID protocols, which he cleared just fine, but there was a bit of a scare with the Penguins. Now he's back. He's been playing better than ever. I think the Penguins are picking it up. And at -134, another really nice value at over 2.5 shots.
Yeah, you love to see Sid the Kid, a.k.a. El Nino, on the big three. He's who Nathan McKinnon looked up to as a kid. So it's basically almost as good as betting on Nathan McKinnon.
Right, almost. And at 2.5, not 3.5, which is what Mac gets.
Do you ever log into your DraftKings Sportsbook app and you left something in your bet slip, and for like the first minute and a half, or not even a minute, first 10 seconds, it doesn't pop back up, and you're like, damn. You start looking for it, and then it pops up, and you're like, yes, it's still there.
It is beautiful. I've actually had to learn to be a little more patient on those.
Yeah, exactly. You got to give it a sec to read your mind again and find all your picks. All right, well, not to spoil it, but mine is very similar, Dre. I've got DeBrincat, aka El Gato. I've got Alexander Barkov, aka El Perro, and I've got Steven Stamkos, aka I don't have one for him. That's not a good omen.
I think of him as Tampa's Gabe Landy. He's a very handsome man. Most handsome man east of the Mississippi, some have said. After,
are you sure you're not thinking of John Stamos?
That's entirely possible. I believe I was thinking of the forward for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm realizing 2 Florida hockey players in your bet slip here.
Jesus. Well, since he's now Steven Stamos, I'm calling him Full House.
I like that. That's what we should call the parlay when you put the big three all together. That's the Full House.
Oh, the Full House.
Yeah.
That's nice because you got a card, play in there. I like it. The Full House. That's that just became a thing. Okay, so yeah, it's all shots on goal for me. All shots on goal for you.
Mm-hmm.
I believe some of these games are on the early side, so I'm gonna take my own advice here with you guys and start punching these in right now.
Beautifully done. While you do that, let me tell you, I did give out a pick on leg one. Juve to go through. It looked bad for a second. It looked like a lock for a minute. And then it goes to overtime. They're up a man because Porto was down a man. And somehow they got the worst free kick goal scored on them that I've seen in a long time. Tied it back up. We're still eliminated on away goal. So I apologize to my constituents for the Juve loss from the early leg one. That was a bonus. Should mention, bonus picks went some like 4-1 last night. So those who bet the bonus picks, you're in the plus no matter what.
Austin Novak, he has truly become
bonus pick better.
He's truly become one of us.
Yes.
In just the way that he approaches his bets. He says, add Mika Zibanejad.
I think you're onto something.
Under 3.5 shots to a parlay. It's only hit 6 times this season.
Okay. I assume he means the overs only hit, which is why the under is hot. Okay, there you go. We had our first shots under yesterday. Ryan Nugent Hopkins, one of your names that tickles you most, Ryan, and that was easy breezy, a bonus pick in your bank account.
Yeah, RNH, is that what they call him?
That's what I call him for certain.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Okay, so that is what we have there. I do want to quickly talk about this college basketball game I like tonight. It's really the only game I like on the slate. I'm sure there's more to it, but I'm kind of a picky bettor when it comes to college basketball. And this, in the way, and the opposite way of which way I gave it out, or I guess the way in which I gave it out this morning. So you've lost a half a point since I gave it out this morning. Not a big problem. I like Gonzaga Byu to go over 155.5. Again, Gonzaga, I mean, they score at an unbelievable rate. I mean, truly unheard of in college basketball, the way that they casually will put up 80, 90, 100 points. And BYU, I think they have the offensive firepower to hang in there. With these guys, they can really shoot the rock. They've got like 17 white guys who shoot threes, as you would expect from a BYU team.
They're all 26.
They've got a really quick point guard who can drive and distribute. They've got a scoring big man that they like to feed down there. They've got a nice freshman wing. I mean, they're a good team. Like watching them last night against Pepperdine, I was like, this is a well-built team. They underachieved a little bit, but I like that to go over. I was just asked, would you use – I didn't realize that we've got
a couple
plays here.
Yeah, and I actually – those are valid all week, a lot of these college basketball boosts, and I've treated a lot of those like I treat breakfast on Thanksgiving Day. I want to go light, folks. I want to go light. I'm saving myself for that third helping of pumpkin pie in 6 hours, and that's going to be these tourneys that come up. Now, that said, Ryan's given out a great pick there. That's a game you want to watch tonight anyways.
Yep,
so why not have
it is a weak slate of sports tonight.
Yes, it is. We still got to wait a minute for the Nuggets, but we've got a lot of the college hoops gets a lot better. And then I've got a little safesman just to quench your appetite.
I do have an appetite.
While we wait for tomorrow, it is your birthday after all.
Yes.
Where you follow the money against the spread picks. You omit the big dogs like Gonzaga, Notre Dame, Duke, where you're just not going to get good value. And rather than bet the spreads, what makes this a safe man is you go on the money lines. And so what that looks like is North Dakota minus 114.
Talk to me slow here.
Okay.
All right, I want to build this with you. I want to be with the people here.
Yeah.
North Dakota minus 114.
Yeah, and I should mention North Dakota State, and that's against Oral Roberts, not Oral Robertson, as I call them, in leg one. Then CSU Fullerton taking on Cal Poly.
Okay.
Bryant. Everyone loves Bryant U taking on Mount St. Mary's. And then you take Cleveland State taking on Oakland. And that comes out to plus 508. A nice little a Tuesday safe men's.
Did you know that Oakland is not in Oakland?
Whoa. What?
I know, right? I think it's in it's in Michigan. Oakland, Michigan.
I am shook right now. This is worse than when Ryan from The Office finds out that Kelly's gone to Miami, but Miami of Ohio, not Miami, Florida. But Oakland's not putting it out there that they're Oakland in parentheses, not the Bay Area.
Yeah, let me figure out exactly where they are here so I can just give everyone the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, of course. They play in the Horizon League, located in Rochester, Michigan.
Wow. Man, what's crazy is I adopted Oakland as my team on one of those March Madness video games like 10 years ago. So I'm even more familiar with the program than most, and I did not know that.
Yeah, I know. It's a shocking fact.
Yeah. Puzzling, troubling even.
Our guy Austin asks all money line. So yes, that's all money line. If I'm with you, Dre, I'm seeing plus 508 here.
You got it. Plus 508, baby. Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's not bad. Just to follow the money. I was also thinking with these follow the money, it might be time for some round robins soon enough. Round robin parlays are in the air. A little Heinz 57. Just for experimentation's sake. For science might be in the works. Those are costly. Very expensive, those round robins.
They are, yeah. You really got to pay to play.
Mm-hmm.
But
indeed.
Remember when we were profitable on that round robin parlay on UFC at the bar?
That was something else. That feels like a lifetime ago.
It was definitely a lifetime ago. Okay, there you go. So we've got college basketball parlays. Mm-hmm. We've got my favorite pick of the night in college basketball. We've got all sorts of stuff. We also have a $1,000 sign-up bonus when you go and use the code DNVR at DraftKings Sportsbook, which is one hell of a deal. And then they've got this other crazy thing going on where they're giving you your pick of any college basketball underdog this week, or most college basketball underdogs. I shouldn't say any. Most college basketball underdogs this week, you can get plus 6,400 odds on if you're a new user. That means you can bet up to $4 and you can win up to $256 on select underdogs. You got to look at the parameters to figure out which ones you can bet on. But I mean, I love this one because there's always the one to win 100 if you do X, Y, or Z. It's automatic. This one, you got to know a little bit. It's not a given, but if you hit it, the reward is much more robust.
Yeah, the reward's insane. So much so that I've been looking into ways to get my
your family in on this.
Yeah, my family in, not to mention my my fingertips filed off so I can start a new identity and qualify.
Yeah, that's a nice move there. Of course, you can also get that sign-up bonus up to $1,000 when you use the code DNVR, but you must be 21 or older in Colorado only. The bonus is comprised of a first deposit bonus and a first bet match, each $500. Deposit bonus requires 25x playthrough. Restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details, and if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Okay. That leads us to our dilemma of the day.
Mm-hmm.
What college basketball futures do we love as March heats up? And we're mostly focused on the conference championship futures here today, Dre, because we've been paying a lot of attention this year. And I just feel like we should be able to nail a couple of these.
Yeah, you'd think. And as you mentioned in leg one, a lot of us have free bets around the corner. Maybe you've got that $10 free bet you got from your UFC. You have a $5 free bet. This might be the time to parlay a couple of these futures, which are all in the plus, and see how we do.
And the fun thing about that is it'll give you a horse in the race, as you watch
exactly
all of these, random college basketball tournaments.
Yeah, precisely.
So let's start in the Big Ten, Dre.
Big Ten has been insane this year. And I know you're feeling Illinois, and I'm kind of with you.
It's a three-dog race here for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Iowa, Illinois, Michigan. Now, It's kind of a love triangle here. I watched Michigan destroy Iowa. I watched Illinois destroy Michigan.
Yeah.
And I probably just didn't watch enough to see Illinois get destroyed by someone. I bet you they did. They might have gotten destroyed by Iowa for all I know.
Exactly. Yeah.
I wouldn't. Maybe you can look that up. I wouldn't be
Yes,
surprised if that happened. So here is my thought on this. Michigan, who's the heavy favorite here, is nasty. I mean, they're a really good team, and Illinois caught them on their worst day for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me about this. At the same time, though, Illinois has a irrational reservoir of confidence to turn to if these two teams do match up in the finals. And I love that. I love that when they see Michigan on the schedule, they're going to say, we got these guys. We got these guys. Whereas if Michigan sees them, they're going to say, we got to get our revenge. And that can be powerful too, but it also can get you out of your groove a little bit.
For sure. And I think the other thing that makes this love triangle interesting is Iowa probably playing the best basketball of any team in the country early on. Then Michigan became the best team in the country, maybe not named Gonzaga. And Illinois is kind of taken that mantle over now. They've been nasty since February. The Illini did beat Iowa by 5. Their losses have come to Ohio State and Michigan State, not to mention Maryland. So, it's a loaded Big Ten. None of these are automatics. But I do come back to who's feeling better right now and who's more confident. And at plus 320, that's really nice value on the Illini. Really nice value. And that's a program that's been due for like damn near 20 years.
You're right. Okay, so they're in the slip. We're taking the Illini. Then we move on to the Pac-12 conference.
Yes.
And boy, if this isn't the most wide open Pac-12 tournament I've seen in quite some time. I think it's a 4-team race, and I think all of these teams should have equal odds. But
interesting.
They do not. In fact, none of them have equal odds. At DraftKings Sportsbook, they've got Oregon as a decently heavy favorite here at plus 185, followed by USC at plus 235, followed by Colorado at plus 250, and UCLA at plus 550. And the crazy thing is the drop-off after that. Stanford at plus 1550. So 1,000-point drop-off there outside of that top 3. I ignore everyone, or outside of the top 4, I ignore everyone outside of there. So you're left to pick your poison here.
Now, we should mention movement on CU just from this morning. They were in the plus 300s and are now down to plus 250. They're almost as short odds as USC. USC, to me, if we want to do a process of elimination here of the top 4, while I love their talent, they're probably too young to do it in a tourney setting. Experience is so valuable in that, winner go home setting that I think UCLA, Oregon, Colorado are the ones where there's the better value here.
So USC just swept all of the awards today, which is just the most USC thing ever. And I just think they're more sizzle than substance.
Yes.
When it comes to this time of year, they have, the fancy head coach and, the top player and one of the top players in the country and all that stuff. They've got a lot of pieces. But I'm a little biased against them because I watched the Buffs beat them by double digits twice.
Exactly.
So I'm not scared of matching up against them at all. UCLA, they split, and Oregon, they split.
Yeah.
So if this is so tough for me, what I will say is there's not a single team in the Pac-12 that scares me from a CU perspective. I think they can beat them on any given night. And when I look to build a team that thrives this time of year, I kind of come down to the Buff. If I just had a blind formula that I was okay, how's their 3-point shooting? How is their free throw shooting? How is their perimeter defense?
Yeah.
Do they have a big man they can look to? Like, I hate that. I almost hate that I'm in this position because I don't want to have these high expectations for the Buffs. I want to have no expectations so they could be exceeded. But like I said, if I strip away the uniforms, the beautiful black and gold, all of my love for the university, and just made a formula of teams that I like in March, I would come to this team.
Yep. And honestly, if it's not the Buffs, it's UCLA. I think that's where the value lies. It's not the top column. It's not the top line there on the Pac-12 futures. It's the next step down.
It should be noted, no Arizona in the Pac-12 tournament this year, which is a interesting wrench in the gears. They're on a self-imposed postseason ban.
Yeah.
And also, if they were there, they would really be a force to be reckoned with in a year where there's fans. One of the closest schools with the best fan base for basketball, and they just come in droves up to Vegas for the Pac-12 tournament. Not going to be there at all.
That's
no fans at all. I think it favors. I don't know. It takes out a variable that I didn't want to have to address in here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of with you. Oregon is also a well-built team.
Yes. There's that.
But they just don't scare me. No one scares me. I'm taking the Buffs.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's go Buffs. Add them to the Illinois mix because you can have a white whale in 2 picks here, or in 3 picks. Because in the Big 12, I think listeners to the show know it. I'm going to go press Virginia. Kansas's stud big man is out. That's huge for them. I really like Oklahoma State. I just think they're too young. I really like Texas Tech. I just don't think they have the power to go all the way. I will say Oklahoma was ranked in the top 5 for a minute there at plus 1,500. Really nice value. But press Virginia at plus 700 is where I'd go. And look at that, Ryan. West Virginia, Illinois Buffs, we're already in the plus 11,000 parlay territory.
That is juicy. I'm going to follow you on this. You've been nailing the Big 12. I only have one question before I let you go because I know you got to get out of here. Can Press Virginia apply that type of pressure for 3 consecutive nights without wearing thin?
It's a good question. I think they need to win one a little easier.
Okay.
You know. And so round 1 might be telling as far as saving energy and being able to execute the full game plan the entire tourney.
Well, this would be the whitest of whales if we were able to hit it. So let's ride. I've got a free bet that I'm throwing on it. We'll see how things go, but that's our analysis for the conference championship parlay, which would be one hell of a hit. But that, I believe, is going to wrap it up for us today. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, and we will catch you tomorrow. See you guys.